Okay, that's what I wanted to do. All right, so just so all of you know, for the time being, if you look in Google Classroom on the stream, there are now 2 Zoom links posted. If you look at my screen, you can see the regular one that we use for our 8 o'clock class, but then there is also a new one that I've posted yesterday afternoon for during 8th period, an academic support. So if you ever need like help with something, or you're not sure how to do something, or if you have a question, you can always come at 1 o'clock to that 8th period time. I have a Zoom open. That may change the time of that one. I might do something else with that 8th period 1 o'clock time if the total remote extends beyond this week. I might do something else with that period with some kids, okay? But for right now, if you need me for extra help or you have a question or anything, you can use this link at 1 o'clock to ask me questions. That's not a regular class time, okay? All right. So yesterday we were working with C fever. If you turned in your C fever, and some of you have, you need to unsubmit it so that you can work on it again. So if you could open up that document while I let Kaden in and while I open up my document, and then split your screen, please. Good morning, Kaden, sweetie. Okay, so yesterday I had you work in groups, and I don't know if the same exact people are with us today. I think we're missing 1 or 2, and we have 1 or 2 people that weren't here. So I'm gonna have to rearrange the groups a little bit when we get there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read the poem again out loud, and then I'm going to also put you in your groups and give you about 5 or 10 minutes to finish the multiple choice that you were working on, and then we will come together as a whole group and we will go over them. Okay. Oh, somebody else is here. Here comes Kiara. Okay. So, this is Sea Fever by John Masefield. Sea Fever. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea in the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking and a gray mist on the sea's face and a gray dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. So I have a question. Yesterday in this class, we did not talk about these 2 things in the 3rd stanza. Does anybody know what a merry yarn is? Like we say Merry Christmas, so that means Happy Christmas, but what's a yarn in this context? Anybody? Who knows?
String.
Say again?
String. Yarn is kind of like string.
Well, not in this context. I know I use yarn when I knit my sweaters, but not in this context. He's not asking for like happy yarn. He's asking for a yarn if you don't know. Go ahead, somebody say something.
An amusing tale?
Yes, it's an amusing tale. It's a story. Okay. And then also, if you look at the context of those 2 lines, I'm asking a happy story from a laughing fellow rover. What's a rover? What does it have to be? Some sort of what? Is he going to ask it of a fish? Is he going to ask a fish to tell him a story? Alex, go ahead.
A human?
A human. It's another person. And a rover is somebody that goes from place to place, a wanderer, just like he wants to be, right? Okay, so here we go. This might take me a minute to break you up into groups here. I'm going to pause my video again because breakout rooms don't need to be. I have this part of the lesson, so we're going to go over the answers now. So number 1, reads, the title of the poem reveals the main idea. What is sea fever? Is it a severe case of seasickness, a spinning of the head caused by a sea mist and salt air, an eagerness to return to sailing the seas, or an illness that often affects sailors? So I think Carl and Georgia, you worked on this one. Could you tell me what answer you picked?
Eagerness to return.
Okay, I can't really
sailing
understand you. That's weird. Try again, Carl. For number one, what did you pick, hon? For number one,
An eagerness to return to the seas.
okay, so we letter C, so that's the one we're gonna pick, right? So everybody make sure you mark C, and then Carl, where's your proof in the text? There's lots of it. What did you underline in the text as your proof? Okay, there were 3 other groups that did the same question. Can somebody tell me where the proof is for that answer? Guys, we have to do this a little faster. Bella?
It
always says, I must go down to the sea again. I must go
Yeah,
down to the
every
sea
one
again."
of the stanzas starts with, I must go down to the sea again. I must go down to the sea again. And I think I did bop in on Alex's group yesterday. And Alex was saying that, you know, it's kind of like when you are in a fever to do something. I forget what your analogy was exactly.
It was homesickness. It's like
Yeah.
when you get homesickness, you're like kind of like wanting to go back home.
That's right. So you're not really ill, but you're in like this fever because you're sick in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I think, Carl, I need you to turn your mic off, buddy. Thank you. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, according to the poem, what does the narrator seek from a laughing fellow rover? We just went over that. So I think Bella and Kiara, you guys were supposed to do that one. What answer did you get for number 2?
I didn't really know. I was thinking an adventurous voyage.
Okay, but look at my notes. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover. So he's asking a merry yarn from a fellow rover. So what did I say? A
And
yarn
I'm using
was.
tail.
And I'm using tail. So I'm just going to label that one number 2 because it's right there. My penmanship is terrible with this thingamajig. So that answer is B. Right? Let's go number 3. Which event is mentioned before all the others? So our choices are the shaking of the white sail, the crying of the seagulls, the breaking of a gray dawn, the flying of the white clouds. Number 3. I can't really tell who's looking to answer my question. Let's see.
Me.
Who's me?
Alexander.
Alexander, go.
Okay. I picked A.
Which would be correct.
Me too.
How did you prove this one?
Because we started at the beginning of the first stanza and we started reading.
Uh-huh.
We came to that first before everything else.
Okay, so that was the first thing. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to go and find all 4 of these items and then put them in sequential order, right? But if that's the first one that you came across when you start reading it, that's the faster way to do it. Good job. All right, number 4, according to the poem, a windy day can create a running tide, a joyous laughter, flung spray, gypsy life. What's the best answer there? Georgia, I haven't heard from you. What do you have? Are you still with me, Georgia? Yes, you are. For number 4, Georgia, what was your answer? You got to turn your mic on. Okay, let's go to somebody else. Caden, sweetie, what'd you get for number 4?
I got C.
Very good. What's your proof? A windy day can create. Where are we in the text? Where do you see it? Hello?
It's in the second stanza,
Okay.
and if you go down,
Yeah.
it says, "All I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the
Lone spume and
blown spume."
seagulls crying, right? So that's all of number 4. Well done. Okay. Number 5, the poet compares the wind at sea to a whale's way, sharpened knife, wild call, sweet dream. We talked about this one yesterday. Who's got it for me? Quick.
Sharp knife.
A sharp knife. I don't know who said that. You, Alex?
No, it doesn't.
Devin. Okay.
Uh,
Where's your proof, Dev?
uh, it says like a wedding knife.
Third stanza, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about that yesterday because it said a wetted knife, right? We talked about what wetted meant. Okay, number 6. This is the last one for the several groups. What will the narrator most likely do, quote, when the long trick's over? You have to kind of make an inference here. So you have to, is he going to settle down far away from the sea? Does that one even make sense? Hello?
No.
Okay, that doesn't make sense at all. Study the stars and the night sky, become a writer of tall tales, or relive a memory of a great sea adventure. I'm going to ask Carl because he and I talked about this one yesterday. What'd you get, Carl?
I put D.
Good. What's your proof?
Because in the third stanza,
Yeah. Hello? You still
comes in
there?
a sweet dream, and he loves Sam.
Right. And he's
So
asking a merry yarn. Like he just wants to listen to tales and stories, right? About
Yeah.
the sea. This guy's like crazy for the sea.
Wait,
Notice
so
how
what was
messy,
the
notice how
story?
messy my text is. It should be. Yours should look the same. Did you have a question, Belle?
Yeah, what was answer for number 5 and 6? I couldn't get.
Number 5 is B, sharpen knife. And
Uh-huh.
6 is D, relive a memory of a great sea adventure.
Okay.
Okay, so my other 2 groups, I have Haley, Paige, Akeem, and Devin that did 7 through 12. So the rest of you pay attention and get the right answers down. Number 7, in the phrase vagrant gypsy life, the word vagrant means doubtful, wandering,
I know.
obvious, or barren.
To express his love for the sea. Huh?
We're on number 7.
Wandering. Oh, never mind. Wandering. That's what I meant.
Okay, so
Wait for a second.
okay, so this one's a little hard because if you didn't know vagrant gypsy, right? And you don't have the context, it might be a little hard, but if you go down to rover, that might help you as well. Right?
Didn't you say that they're always moving?
Pardon me?
Didn't you say that they're always moving? They stay on. They don't. stay
Yeah,
on one spot?
vagrants and gypsies always move. So if you look at the question, it's like, you know, wandering. I think that was the word I used. It's not doubtful, it's not obvious, it's not barren. The other thing is you can go back to the text and plug each of these words in the text and see which one makes better sense, right? That'd be the other way to do it if you really didn't know, right? If Mrs. Jost didn't talk about it yesterday, you would plug these words in that line in the poem instead of vagrant gypsy life. Make sense? All right, we have about 8 minutes left, so let's keep going. From the poem, you can conclude that the narrator probably was once a sailor, is a shipbuilder, has a fear of high winds, is a singer of sea shanties. I love sea shanties. Okay, what's the best answer?
A.
A. What's your proof? What's your proof?
The whole paragraph.
It could be the whole text.
The whole
I would agree with that. And I don't know, I think it was Alex that said paragraph, but guess what?
Yeah.
There are no paragraphs. What are there?
Stanzas. Sorry.
Stanzas, that's all right. Common mistake. All right, number 9. Which descriptive phrase is the closest to being an opinion? And that's your key right there, of the poet. The wheels kick, the lonely sea, the wind's song, a tall ship. I don't even have to go back to the text to prove this because there's one word in here that gives it away.
C.
It's
That's a
not
B.
C.
B, the lonely sea.
Yeah, what word makes it,
That's what I said.
what
Lonely.
word there makes it an opinion?
Lonely.
Absolutely. That's your proof right there. Okay. So lonely sea and a wind song, both are also personification, but the fact that he's saying the sea is lonely, he doesn't know the sea's lonely. That's his opinion.
Yeah.
Got it? All right. 10. Why did John Masefield probably write Sea Fever? To encourage sea travel, to praise the power of the wind, to express his love for the sea, to share a familiar sea yarn or story. Best answer there?
B.
C. What's your proof?
Every single stanza again.
Yeah, I would say, what number am I on? 10? I'd say
Yeah,
the
10.
whole poem. Right? He's in a
Okay.
fever. All righty. Number 11. In the phrase, a gray mist on the sea's face, the poet views the sea as if it were a distant friend, a clear call, a vast territory, or a living person. Let's see. Akeem, did you get this one?
Yeah, I'd pick D.
A living person. What's your proof?
I just looked inside in the phrase "a gray mist on the sea's face."
Uh-huh.
The sea doesn't have a face.
So he doesn't have a face, personification. There you go. There's your proof there, right? Good job. All right, last one, guys. Which of these is the best summary of the poem? Life at sea has many disadvantages. The creatures of the sea are a wonder to behold. The sea has a certain call for some people, or the sea can be a lonesome place. Best answer there.
C.
The sea has a certain call. Yeah. Anybody want to tell me where the proof of that is?
The whole paragraph.
There's no paragraphs.
Stanza.
All right.
Every
But look at how many times it uses the word call in here somewhere. I mean, like here it is here it is here, right? I think that's it. So I would say there's your proof. He's like the sea is calling to him, right? Mr. Masefield, come see me and visit and feel the wind in your hair, kind of thing.
He's
All
pretty
right.
much.
Pretty much what?
He's pretty much Moana.
That's true.
Hey, what character in Moana has Mrs. Jost been compared to in her life?
The grandmother.
The grandma. There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
I did again.
All right. So I know that I only told you to do 1 through 6, okay, or 7 through 12. So you only did 6 with your partner. Did working with a partner help you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Think about how many you've been getting wrong on the other ones and this one. And this is not easy because it's a poem. I love this poem because I like the sea as well. I'm not as crazy as this guy is, but I'm not eager about it. But I think it's a good poem. Anyway, this was just an exercise to do together. Your poem, if you did it the right way, and maybe not for 1 through 12, but 1 through 6 or 7 through 12, your poem should be just as messy as mine right now, if you're using the text to help you answer the questions. Okay. And a lot of times I could tell when I'm doing your multiple choice and I scroll through the text, you guys are not making any marks on your text, and you should be, because your answers are right there. You just have to think them through. Anybody have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to work on a graphic organizer for a question for this poem. And then we'll work on a paragraph, and we'll probably do the graphic organizer together because I think some people are forgetting how to do that and use it for your paragraph. All right, so that's all I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. If you know anybody that is in our first period class and isn't coming to the Zooms, could you like maybe ask your friend, just say, hey, I didn't see you in your Zoom today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get them to come.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm going to end the meeting. So adios, muchachos.
Bye.
Have a great
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyone know?
Oh my goodness. Why can't I get out of here? Oh, there we go.